I have just played Robin Adair, a traditional Irish song about the heartbreak of lost love. Jane Fairfax, a character in Jane Austen's 1817 novel Emma, plays this song to express her anxiety and dread that the man she's secretly engaged to is unfaithful. This piece of music provides our way in to a journey of discovery in search of Jane Austen, the musician. Robin Adair is a piece that Austen knew, played, and loved. And her use of it in Emma is testimony to her understanding of the power of music to speak to us at a sensory and emotional level. Jane Austen is best known as the 19th century novelist who penned some of the most beloved social comedies and romances ever written, such as Pride and Prejudice and Sense and Sensibility. For those amongst you who are not Austen fans, she might register on your consciousness through memes of Colin Firth in a wet white shirt as Mr. Darcy, or perhaps in a popular phrase such as, "It is a truth universally acknowledged." 2025 is the 250th anniversary of Jane Austen's birth, and it's a year of Austen celebrations with balls in her honour, new editions of her novels, and television adaptations of her works. I want to honour and celebrate Jane Austen today by shining a light on a lesser-known aspect of her life, her love of music. In sharing something of Austen's musical talent with you, I hope to allow her to step down from that literary pedestal and be revealed as a very human, multi-dimensional figure whose lived experience can inspire and touch us all. Jane Austen, like myself, was an amateur pianist who played because of the joy music gave her. Her story is a template for us on the art of living well through making time for the things that bring our lives joy and meaning. Music was part of Austen's daily life. She got up early every morning to play the piano, stopping at 9 o'clock to help make breakfast for her family. The piano in Austen's day was much smaller and quieter than a modern instrument, and at this hour she could play without disturbing anyone. Austen was also prepared to make sacrifices for what she loved. Her annual allowance never exceeded £20 a year, but out of this, she managed to save to contribute to the purchase of a piano after the death of her father. In an 1808 letter to her sister Cassandra, she wrote, "Yes, yes, we will have a pianoforte, as good a one as can be got for 30 guineas, and I shall practice country dances to amuse our nieces and nephews." As this comment to her sister highlights, Austen loved music both as a private pleasure, but a way of sharing that joy with others. Her nephew and biographer James shares that she had a sweet voice and would often sing to her own accompaniment. Many of these pieces had a strong family connection. On Jane Austen's copy of The Soldier's Adieu, for example, she's crossed out soldier and written sailor in honour of her two naval brothers. Another piece of music with a strong personal connection to Austen is a song called The Irishman. Biographers speculate that this was given to Austen by the handsome and charming Irishman Tom Lefroy, with whom she enjoyed a flirtation in 1796. The song ends with a maiden declaring from behind her fan that there's none can love like an Irish man. Jane Austen's music books highlight her deep devotion to music And it's an extensive collection of music. Much of it is manuscript music, painstakingly copied out by hand. Lack of funds meant that Austen could not always afford to buy music, and so was dependent on borrowing it from her family and her friends. She would then sit for hours copying it so neatly and accurately that her niece Caroline records it was as easy to read as print. These precious music books give us an insight into both Austen's musical taste and what was popular in her day. Her collection does include well-known works by Handel and by Haydn, but is also full of pieces by lesser-known composers, such as Abby Sterkel, William Shield, and Harriet Abrams. Austen's music collection provides us with a bridge to the soundscape of the Regency parlor. To give you a taste of Austen's musical world, I'm going to play you a medley of 3 pieces. Firstly, as I play a minuet by Ignace Pleyel, I want you to picture the solitary Austen getting up early to practice the piano. The order and simplicity of this music is typical of much piano music in Austen's day. With a melody line over accompanying chords, playing this music gives me the same feeling of calm as reading an Austen novel. Everything is in the right place. All will be well. Secondly, as you listen to the fast and lively country dance, The Flowers of Edinburgh, I want you to picture the sociable Austen playing the piano so her nieces and nephews could frolic. Hopefully, this melodious and rhythmic music might set your toes tapping. Finally, you will hear the finale of the dying Christian to his soul. As I play this, I ask you to picture the family-focused Austen, providing evening entertainment for her parents and siblings. This grand and triumphant piece, written to chart the flight of the soul from the body to heaven, speaks of Austen's faith and the religious harmonies beloved by her clergyman father and brothers. To Austen's music and play Austen's music is to be transported across time. As I sit at the keyboard and play the same notes that Jane Austen herself played, the distance of time and space that separates me from her geographic and historical moment is erased. To appropriate words Jane Austen penned about her musical niece Caroline, for me, the pianoforte speaks of Jane in various keys, tones, and expressions, Be it a country dance or a lesson, a waltz or a sonata, she is its constant theme. Austen's letters and novels reveal that it wasn't musical accuracy or professionalism that captivated her. Indeed, she was often scathing of performers such as Mary Crawford or poor Mary Bennet, who played for acclaim and applause, or as part of the courtship script that said a young woman should display her marriageability through her accomplishments. The musicians that Austen valued were those such as the heroine of her final novel, Persuasion. Anne Elliot has much to trouble and burden her. She's been parted from the man she loves and has to contend with the casual cruelty and neglect of a vain father and self-satisfied sisters. Music for Anne is both solace and sorrow. Since the death of her mother and the loss of her beloved Captain Wentworth, she's had nobody to appreciate her music or to share her love of the piano. Yet she still plays, the pleasure outweighing the pain, the music a momentary escape into a world of harmony. What mattered to Austen was playing because it meant something, allowing a feeling or a thought to be expressed and understood. Like me, some of you might be amateur musicians or amateur dancers, painters, sewers, gardeners, golfers. Austen's story relates to all of us, highlighting the importance of giving the things we love our time, our energy, and our attention. Austen's piano playing inspires us as fellow amateurs not to be bashful or diffident or afraid about our passions, but to boldly play, sing, dance, sew, plant that rosebush, swing that golf club, for the sheer joy of it, for the meaning and the purpose it gives to our lives. To end, I invite you to join me on one last act of musical time travel. Hopefully, as you hear the notes released from the keys, they will speak to you both at the immediate level of the senses, but also a deeper level of reflection and understanding as you think about the things that give your lives meaning and joy. First, you will hear the plaintive strains of I Have a Silent Sorrow. This is a melancholy song about heartbreak, music that Anne Elliot might have played, dreaming of the dashing Captain Wentworth, or that Austen herself might have played, remembering that charming Irishman, Tom Lefroy. Finally, I will play the closing bars of the Adagio from Haydn's Sonata in C. Melodious and contemplative, this is music to uplift and to soothe. As I play, I want you to picture one last time Jane Austen in those solitary early morning piano sessions, taking pleasure in the power of music to express yearning and joy.